Welcome to another episode of Black Food American History, and today we are talking about shrimp and grits. Like I've said before, most black food isn't created in a vacuum. It involves multiple cultures, multiple people, multiple traditions, multiple flavors. And shrimp and grits is no exception to that. The dish grits itself is actually Native American in origin. Native Americans created grits by taking dried kernels and grinding them into a powder that they called grits. Native Americans would share this technique with settlers and it was spread throughout the colonies. Eventually, grits would make their way down south.
Specifically, the Muskogee tribe is responsible for help spreading grits to the south. This dish would become a staple on plantations in the south. Many call corn the potatoes of the south because they're high in energy, pretty easy to make, and you can make them in abundance. Specifically for enslaved Africans in South Carolina, many say that grits resembled a similar dish that they'd known in West Africa. I don't have the name of it, and if you know it, just leave it in the comments. They had the idea to combine it with seafood that they can catch in creeks and local bodies of water. So enslaved Africans were able to take a Native American dish and use the knowledge and techniques that they brought with them from West Africa to create what we know today as shrimp and grits. Enslaved Africans would also use catfish, and you've definitely seen catfish and grits on many southern menus. In a book called 200 Years of Charleston Cooking, an African-American butler contributed his recipe for shrimp and grits into this book. And for the longest, shrimp and grits wasn't a popular dish. It was mostly localized in North and South Carolina until 1985 when a chef named Bill Neal published a cookbook. And in that cookbook, he created a recipe for shrimp and grits that used cheese. New York Times picked up on this, and eventually the recipe spread throughout the entire country. And by the 1990s, most places had shrimp and grits on their menu. I was doing research for this, and so many people were giving credit to Bill Neal for creating shrimp and grits, but that's not true, and I'm not even saying that Bill Neal credits himself for doing that. It is important that we acknowledge who actually created shrimp and grits. Like, follow, and share, and let me know in the comments, do you put sugar in your grits?